like I've always said, it's a Monday, and I've always insisted that I wish you guys know what happens behind the scene before the program starts. Plus Sports on Plus TV Africa on a Monday. My name is Wale Scott. Welcome on the show. Like Mukail, they need to actually someday, without us knowing, we film everybody from Sheyi to Motola, everybody.
Eventually, we're going to have a reality show.
Yes.
About Plus TV on Plus TV.
It will make a fantastic series. We'll have Sheyi Wajidagba later on the show. We have Mukail Tinubu already here. And of course, we'll talk about a lot of things. But some good things happened in Nigerian football over the weekend. Let's talk about them first. Now, Rivers United are walking a tightrope after playing a 1-1 draw against Al Hilal Omdurman in their CAF Champions League first leg encounter at the Adokia Messi Marcus Stadium, Port Harcourt, on Sunday yesterday. Yassil Mohammed put the visitors in front in the 37 minutes of the encounter, while Ishak Kayode threw the ball, grabbed the equalizer in the 68th minute. But CAF ruled the goal an own goal and was awarded to Mohammed Saeed. Rivers United were wasteful in front of goal in the entire encounter, while Moses Omudemike was unlucky again, hitting the woodwork twice in the encounter. The draw means Rivers United will need a win or a high-scoring draw when they travel to face their Sudanese opponents in the reverse fixture of the first round. A superior aggregate in the two legs for Rivers United will see them book a place in the money-spinning group stage of the competition, while a loss will see them crash to the CAF Confederations playoffs. In Yenogua, Victory Benaga scored the lone goal as Bayelsa United recorded a historic 1-0 win over Tunisian giant CS Sfaxien in their CAF Confederations Cup first leg encounter at the Samson Siasia Stadium in Yenogua yesterday. This is it. You and I know that Nigerian football is in shambles, is very bad. And the structures, the management, everything is wrong with it. But we've always had this power of Niger miracle that we actually do. Everybody knew. Nobody gave Rivers United a chance against Al Hilal of Sudan. These are African continental champions. They've done very well. Fantastic structure. Half of the players play for Sudan, the Sudanese national team, so come on. But we actually got a draw. And our reporters have gone to work again and saying, they've got a slim chance, they should have won the game, you know. Against Al Hilal, a 1-1 draw at home by Rivers United is a miracle.
Yes.
For me, by every standard.
At this point right now, our Nigerian league clubs going to play the rest of African clubs in CAF, it's with the underdogs, and we must remember that. Maybe if we accept the humility of being the underdogs, we can respect our opponents more and start from scratch as to how to play best against these teams. You don't see a team like Stoke City thinking that a draw or a win is the least that is expected when they play against Manchester City. When we go on the continent, we have to respect these opponents. And if we do get a draw, we have to remember that these players, Rivers United, they did extremely well, and it's despite the shambles of the structure that we have in Nigeria. These players are not competing on a regular basis. They're not getting the opportunity to play with the national team on a regular basis, having the opportunity to understand, to raise their game to a level that is worthy of international football. A draw is pretty good for...
If I eventually get Sheyi Wajidagba on the phone, we'll talk about this extensively. But I remember vividly well, as a reporter, I was in Rivers State to interview Eyimba. They had just won the CAF Champions League back-to-back, the first team in Africa to do that. And we couldn't get a parking space because practically everybody in the team had a car, or maybe even two cars. And I know then, Ojiuz or Kalu, you know, was all over the place. You ask him for one, he gives you two those days. So Eyimba was doing very well, which means if you spend money to encourage these guys, they will do well. Now, before they qualified into this stage, Rivers United governor, Rivers governor, Nyesom Wike, promised them $100,000. That is equivalent to about 41 million naira. He gave them the money just before this match. And honestly, everybody, not even Nyesom Wike himself, would have felt Rivers would have drawn against Al Hilal. And we did. Coming back, they scored first. Rivers came back. Now, will they be able to do anything tangible in Sudan? I do not know. But I think they had a good fight by taking on Hilal, a draw against them. And honestly, if the money comes and they get enough encouragement, anything can happen in Sudan.
The value of positive reinforcement cannot be understated. If you reward someone's efforts, they will multiply that effort. Because at the very least, aside from what they can buy with the money, live in more luxury than they've previously been used to, buy a better car, build a better home, aside from that advantage, there is the understanding that you value them, you value what they can do, and you respect their abilities. Our football league needs to do a lot better. Our governors, our president, they need to take a step up and understand that improving the league means the national team improves. Improving the league means our football on the continent, it gains the semblance of the good old days when we were respected as African giants.
Now, this is the surprise of the tournament so far. Bayelsa United, CS Sfaxien. Now, this is one team that have got a history in the CAF Confederations Cup, and they beat them 1-0 away. And I think this is another miracle. CS Sfaxien, top-notch team, have good management, get paid regularly, and we beat them.
Yes.
Despite all.
Yes, because at the end of the day, the Nigerian Spirit is greater than the incompetence that we see at the organizational level, at the structural level. These players want to play. And if you let them know that they are valuable, if you put them in a position where going up against the best teams in Africa, going up against the best teams in the world, their pride is on the line. The value of everything that you've already established that they are worth is on the line. They will play their hearts out. Okay.
Now, people have done a sincere comparison with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Gernot Rohr. Now, Gernot Rohr has the Super Eagles in his kitty. He's got conveniently the most expensive African player in the world as we speak in Victor Osimhen. He's got players like Samuel Chukwueze, Wilfred Ndidi, Ola Aina, Iheanacho. And people are saying he has no business losing games, not even against teams like CAR. And then you see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who's got Ronaldo. Roro, he's got Mason Greenwood, Marcus Rashford, Edison Cavani. He's got Donny van de Beek, Jadon Sancho, Bruno Fernandes, all these players, and he's not doing well. And some are saying the only thing that can be done to make Manchester United get better in the course of all this is to sack Ole.
I was coming in this morning and there was an argument on the radio. I'm not going to say which station, but the amount of people who said Ole should leave now, should be fired now, versus those who think he should be given till December or given till the end of the year. It's evenly split. Because truth be told, no one knows the best answer. Fact is, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has brought the pride of Manchester back to United. The structure that Alex Ferguson left behind.
Has he left it behind?
That he
has he officially left it behind? Yes, officially he has.
Yes.
But some people say that Ferguson is still Solskjaer's shadow. But if it is, maybe the man has backed up for a while now because he's not doing well anymore.
The truth is, when you're someone's shadow, at most you can influence their philosophy. You can't really influence their tactical choices. Alex Ferguson put together a mentality at the club, a do or die to the very last minute. We remember Fergie time. And even nowadays, on occasion, you can sense that a Fergie time is about to be replayed. Unfortunately, those days where Ferguson would throw in a right back and you're thinking, you need an attacker. He would throw in Fabio or Rafael, the twins. And you're wondering, you need a striker at the dying moment. You need to get a goal. But he knows what he's doing. He wants to inject pace on one side of the pitch because he knows that's where he has the best chance
to get the goal. I think.
But I don't see that with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
It's ironical because he gets the chance to spend so much money, and he does.
Yes.
The same way Frank Lampard was able to talk Abramovich into spending so much money, and he did. Kaya Wirtz, Hakim Ziyech, he brought in Ben Chilwell, all of those guys, and he couldn't use them. Then Tuchel came in, and use them perfectly. And just maybe, Solskjaer has gotten all these big names, spent so much money, but just like Lampard, he can't use them. So maybe should come in.
I would even argue that Lampard, we can't compare Lampard and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because while Lampard doesn't have the pedigree in football, he hasn't managed as long as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has. So we cannot compare whether he's a better tactician, a better technician than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The fact is, when Manchester United have struggled under Ole, he has been given time to find his way out of the wilderness. When Lampard had his first struggle at Chelsea, he was let go. So whether Lampard was a failure at being able to use those top players he bought, I can't really say that for sure. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he has a lot of players, a lot of great players. He has one.
The man has been given more than 9 lives. Well, Leicester said they actually changed their tactics and came on Man United, and that's why they won that game.
Yes.
Now, Leicester City manager Brendan Rodgers highlighted the change of attitude when pressing as a team as the key to his side's victory over Manchester United on Saturday. Now, Rodgers said previous games this season have been far too passive, and the international break was an ideal time to work on deficiencies which have plagued his side. The Foxes boss, who he praised on Jamie Vardy, has been pivotal to how the mindset changed with his work done to make sure Leicester pushed United higher up the pitch. And despite Cristiano Ronaldo having a minimal impact on the 4-2 defeat, Rodgers said he is a remarkable role model for young and old players. Now let's look at the matches played over the weekend, the results of the matches played. We've got that on the, we should have that on the screen anytime from now. And of course, we saw a slim win from, let's start with Liverpool. Roberto Firmino has not been playing as regularly as he should. He's been replaced by Diego Jota in the past few weeks. But of course, he comes back into the game. 5-0 Liverpool beat Watford, away, Liverpool away, and 3 goals, a hat-trick from Roberto Firmino.
The fact is, those 4 players are practically undroppable. Unfortunately,
Firmino gets injured most times.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Klopp has to drop someone. And whereas Firmino links up the other 2 players in the trident very well, his ability to get the ball to Salah in the right position or to Mane in the right position is understated and invaluable to Klopp. But Jota is a goal scorer. He's a natural, instinctive player, and he can play anywhere across the front 3. So it's a valuable option to have. I watched the match, and as usual, Liverpool were very wonderful to watch.
2 goals in both halves. Manchester City, the blue side of against Burnley. And I saw them actually struggle at a point.
Yes.
They really struggled.
I was wondering, the first half, they were unable to get more than a goal. And even the first goal seemed like they just, after scoring it, they just kind of slowed down, which is unacceptable for a club, a team like Manchester City with all the talent they have going up against Burnley. And I'm sure Pep wouldn't have been happy, even with the win.
Now, the missing link in the Chelsea team was the guy who actually got the goal for them. I saw a Lukaku who had like 3 or 4 sitters, and he just couldn't score them. And Brentford would have come back at Chelsea if not for the miracle saves by Mendy.
Yes.
It was all Mendy.
Yes. Up until that point, though, it was Loftus-Cheek bossing the midfield. And the opportunities were there. They just, you know, Brentford bring out, so far I have seen that Brentford bring out a kind of disorganization in their opposition. Whenever they play, they wrecked Arsenal at the beginning of the season. They've made life tough. They made life tough even for Liverpool with the pacey kind of football that they play. When the team is open, and oftentimes they went about 60% of their balls forward were long balls, which meant the likes of Trevor Chalobah, Christensen, and even the debutant Malang Sarr had to be the heroes of the day. Ultimately, Mendy became the #1 hero by the end of the match, because after 70 minutes of controlling the match, the rest was all Brentford.
All Brentford. Okay, now somebody has to stop them. There's no doubt in saying they're back. That's in the Bundesliga, that is. Now, Bayern Munich thrashed Bayer Leverkusen 5-1 yesterday as Julian Nagelsmann's side ran riot and silenced a stunned Bayern, scoring 5 goals by half-time to retain top spot in the Bundesliga from Borussia Dortmund. A brace each from Robert Lewandowski and Serge Gnabry moved Bayern up to 19 points, 1 point ahead of Dortmund, while Leverkusen remained third with 16. Bayern took the lead with just 3 minutes on the clock from a set piece when an unmarked Bayern Upamecano crossed the ball into the 6-yard box where Lewandowski scored with a neat backheel kick. Lewandowski made it 2-0 at the half-hour mark when a Bayern counter-attack allowed left-back to score. The stone the builder refused. Most of us tend to not to look at the Bundesliga most of the time, but Arsenal lost the star in Serge Gnabry. How can you let a man like that go? But we have seen teams let some players go and they go somewhere else and boom.
You could say that the fact that Bayern Munich is such a dominant force in Germany has created the kind of environment where Gnabry could steadily grow his abilities and be confident enough to be the player he is now. But even then, Gnabry playing for Arsenal in those days was already a very fantastic player. You knew he was going to be good. You knew it was going to be great. It was just a matter of time.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you knew that playing for Arsenal would always limit the potential of what he could achieve. If he had been at a Man United, a Liverpool, a Chelsea, he could have gone so far and probably would never have left England in the first place.
Most people are talking now, and they're talking ahead of time, talking about the World Footballer of the Year, Ballon d'Or. And on most people's names or on their mouths right now, nobody's talking about Ronaldo right now. Nobody's talking about Messi right now. People are going towards maybe Kylian Mbappe, Robert Lewandowski, Sadio Mane.
I don't even know if anyone should be talking about Kylian Mbappe right now, because as good as he has been the last few years, I don't think he should be in the discussion of top 3 potential Ballon d'Or winners this season, this year. Lewandowski, yes. Kante, yes. Jorginho, definitely. These are players that achieved a lot during last season. Lewandowski scoring 50 goals, Kante winning the Champions League, but Jorginho winning both the Champions League and the Euros. These are the players that should be mentioned. Definitely not Messi, definitely not Ronaldo,
not Mbappe, not Neymar.
Mbappe, not Neymar, no. Definitely.
But looking at players like Lewandowski,
yes, Benzema should be on
Mo Salah.
Yes, definitely. You know? Mane, these players, even the truth is, the Ballon d'Or has always been an individual award, but the criteria for winning it has shifted in the last 2 decades. It used to be what player did best, what player was clearly the best player, most outstanding, whether they won a trophy or not. But once the Ronaldos and the Messis became the number 1 options, when they played well, their clubs won trophies. So it gradually shifted, and there was so little to separate them because their stats were ultimately very similar.
I don't know what went wrong, but I will come back and yab one of our own when we come back, one of our very own. Now, going into the game, Everton were in 5th place on 14 points after 7 games, while West Ham United were in 9th place on 11 points. 30,132 fans packed Everton Stadium. Now, West Ham scored the only goal in the 74th minute with a shot from Angelo Ogbonna, while Bowen supplied the assist. The final score was a narrow 1-0 win for West Ham. The loss left Everton falling to 7th place on 14 points. The next Premier League game for Everton is at home to Watford on 23rd of October. For West Ham, this victory saw the team rising to 6th place on 14 points. West Ham's next Premier League game is on 24th October at home to Tottenham Hotspur. Now, Rafael Benitez spoke after the match. David Moyes, Rafael Benitez. Now, Alex Iwobi's miss in that game, a sitter. He made Ayegbeni's miss then look like a pinch of salt. Really?
I don't know. I remember Yakubu's miss.
That's what I said. He made Yakubu's mix seem like it was a pinch of salt. Small thing. That was a sitter. Alex Iwobi. Those are the kind of things that he does. And then he comes to the Super Eagles and wants to become some superstar. You have to be a superstar for us when we watch you abroad. So when you come here, we're like, Agbawu. We see what Osimhen does week in, week out. Iheanacho, week in, week out. You don't do that.
Yes, definitely. The truth is, I worry for Alex Iwobi. I worry that he will go the way of Zaha, a local champion in some smaller club, but never able to truly step up to
The truth
big
about
leagues.
Alex Iwobi, and I've always said this, and I'm saying this officially today. I've always said this officially before, though. The reason why Alex Iwobi was taken very seriously by Super Eagles fans was, first off, he was brought in by his uncle, JG Okocha, and we're looking at him like, at that Okocha's level, for him to bring someone and say he's my nephew and he's as good as I was, everybody was like waiting for the next Okocha, and he hasn't done that. So the only reason why Iwobi is on the top list of most Nigerian football fans is because Okocha brought him, and we're expecting a new Okocha, and
We're never going to get a new Okocha.
yes, but he gave us the impression like, this is something close to me. He's my nephew. He can make it happen for you guys. And
that is misconception on our part as fans, Nigerian fans. We wanted to see what wasn't there, and unfortunately,
he wasn't there.
Alex Iwobi isn't there, and perhaps it's the reason why ultimately, as good a start as he had at Arsenal, they let him go so quickly, which was surprising to me. But now I understand he's not able to take his game to the next level.
Okay, I wish I could take my last stories about Beijing Olympic Games, but okay, we can talk about it quickly. Antonio Samaranch said that despite the fact that there are protests in Beijing and all that about labor laws and all that, that the games will actually do what they were supposed to do, bring people together in the spirit of peace, and that the labor protests and everything shouldn't take the shine of the games proper.
I think he's doing what you would expect for someone in his position to do, trying to sell a product that he has to, is his responsibility. He's practically a CEO. When there are protesters outside who are not necessarily protesting him, but they're protesting someone else, and in a country as repressive as China, you don't want to offend the government by coming out and making a stand on behalf of the labor union. But it is what it is, and he has to put all of his attentions on bringing a successful Winter Olympics to fruition.
Okay, hopefully we will have somebody talk about the NOC PRO. Maybe a little like, talk about that. But of course, tomorrow we intend to have the Vice President, Nigeria Basketball Federation. His name is Colonel Sam Amedu, retired. Explain to us all this brouhaha about the basketball and the protest and the Tigress and every other thing that comes in the mix with it. Plus Sports and PlusTvAfrica on a Monday. Mukail? Hopefully, somebody will have to clear all this for us. This basketball wala.
It's why we're here.
Join us same time tomorrow, same station. My name is Wally Scott. Like I always advise you at the end of every show, if not for anything, at least for your heart, do some sports.